Hi, this is Nesargi, and I'm back with another She the People on tour. And this time, we really have a very interesting personality. We have our great Neha Bhasin, who is a great singer, and today she's going to shed some light on her life before getting in the industry and everything that's happened after. So let's jump in.
What's
So,
up?
hi Neha, how are you?
I'm very good. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. So, tell us a little bit about baby Neha. What was she like, and what did she expect to get in the industry before she joined in?
Well, baby Neha was very similar to the adult Neha, actually. I think a dreamer, somebody who was very focused about what she wanted, but was very naughty about everything else, like except for the music part. Um, Light-hearted, but also very intense as a person. Sensitive, but also humorous. So, I think an ironical person of sorts. And though very strong from the outside, very vulnerable from the inside. So I've always lived my life in sort of irony, pulled in two directions of a person. So a lot of my friends still tell me you're still the same.
Oh wow.
I used to laugh loud with my mouth open. And obviously इंडस्ट्री में आने के बाद एक फेज़ था जब लोगों ने बोला ऐसे मत चलो, ऐसे मत गाओ, ऐसा मत, मतलब वो एक फेज़ आया obviously where I felt like my soul was kind of strangled. And that baby Neha somewhere, started diminishing into the dark. And I remember my mother once writing a letter to me and saying, I miss my wild child, like I miss my that unkept hair and thoda. Though I always loved fashion, but like rawness was more me, like so. I think that's pretty much who I was, and it's pretty much who I am. I still shoot my mouth, say the wrong things, but I think the right things most of the times. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So I think that fits the pattern.
Yeah.
So, did you have anybody in the industry? Was it a complete new set of a thing to get into? What was it like? Were you very skeptical? How did your family react?
See, this is the time when exposure was very limited, and I think when the exposure is limited, you're more innocent in your dreams, in your thoughts, in your manifestations. So I just knew that I want to grow up to be a pop star because I was very taken by the singers who I grew up on, and at a very young age I knew what I wanted to do. So and I was उस मामले में जिद्दी kid, कि बस यही करना है. जैसे लोगों के profession change होते थे, मेरा कभी नहीं हुआ. I knew what I wanted, and I thought I was going for it, like whatever way I was. And it's really strange, but today only I listened to a lot of these motivational talks and stuff every day, like half an hour to 1 hour, different ones. And today I heard something so beautiful that a lot of things that people call miracles are actually, it's you manifesting your future by living it in that moment. And a lot of anxiety comes from you living your past in this moment, thinking that it's happening right now. And the brain is such a magical place that it can transport you into whatever you are manifesting. So I think that my life at 19 was a manifestation of that 9-year-old child that saw that for 10 years. Because I used to every day be like, oh, ye karna, ye karna, ye karna, ye karna. And then one day I landed up there. The only thing is कि like I told you, innocence में कई बार समझ नहीं आता है कि आप कहाँ जाना चाहते थे, कहाँ पहुँच गए, कैसे हुआ. So it's pretty much that. My mom was a singer, is a singer, but not a professional one. She did train into classical singing and stuff. तो घर में म्यूजिक था, बट कोई नो हाउ नहीं था. There's nobody from the industry. My dad was a lawyer, my mom was a homemaker, a good singer, but there was no ऐसे कोई जरिया नहीं था. मतलब my mother used to say कि आप ख्वाब देखो, रास्ते खुल जाएंगे. God will open the doors. She's a very optimistic person.
Wow.
But obviously, when it really did happen, they were like, okay, like now it's really happening, because no parent wants कि बच्चा दूर जाए, इंडस्ट्री में जाए. Especially again 2002 में when everybody even today has a perception of the film industry, of Bollywood, of pop industry, whatever, कि अरे यहाँ तो ये होता है, वो होता है, next, so अब बच्चों को भेज दोगे type. So obviously वो skepticism बहुत था, but वो है कि जब आपने अपने बच्चे को बचपन से देखा है कि उसने एक ही ख्वाब देखा है, how do you stop that child? So it was more like that.
But wow. So that one thing that you mentioned about your mom कि आप ख्वाब देखो और रास्ते अपने आप खुल जाएंगे. I think that's a very great ideology to live with.
Also very innocent, right? Like I feel sometimes when you overthink it, like today a lot of times I have to remind myself of what my mom said then, and today I find it more difficult to think like that.
I agree.
Because you know more.
Yeah. We just keep thinking, and we are surrounded by so many thoughts that what if that doesn't happen,
Yeah.
What if we just don't make it out there?
So you're manifesting the doubt, basically, to a large extent.
Correct. And like you said that, as kids we didn't have the perception, or we did not see those circumstances कि ऐसा भी हो सकता है. We always assume कि हाँ हम टीचर है तो टीचर बन जाएंगे, कुछ और थोड़ी ना रोकने वाला है हमें.
Exactly. And मैं तो रात को like I used to have whatever the boom box, and I used to play my favorite Mariah Carey record, and I would just sleep to it, and I would imagine मैं खड़ी हूँ, मैंने गाउन पहना है, मेरा एक स्लिट है. वो उस टाइम पे मैं हमेशा से बहुत फ्लैम्बॉयंट थी, तो यू नो मैं पूरा, एंड वो उसको सोचते सोचते मैं सो जाती थी, राइट. सो आई वाज ऑलरेडी लिविंग इट,
Right.
आई वाज ऑलरेडी इमेजिनिंग माई सेल्फ, एंड यू, दिस वाज नॉट टॉट टू मी, दिस वाज नॉट, I had not read the book Secret or whatever. तो बहुत सालों बाद आई है. That was my innocence that was making, and sometimes I envy that, Neha. You know, like who could just be this manifestor,
Yeah, without any conditioning that
Yeah.
we've grown up with.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's great. So moving on to our next question. How did you start your career in Bollywood, or did you start with Punjabi folk music? Like, how did you navigate your way? This is what I want to do.
I was a part of a reality show called Pop Stars, and that was the first reality show in India in 2002, and we were also in the Limca Book of Records for pulling 50,000 people at our debut concert. So I started my career from there. I mean, literally as a pop star, and then in Bollywood, and then in Punjabi folk. So it was a gradual sort of transgression of sort. Yeah.
What do you enjoy more? I think this is going to be a slightly controversial question. Bollywood or Punjabi folk? I think being a Punjabi, you would have a very interesting answer.
See, number one, I enjoy music. I enjoy good music.
Okay.
You know, and though I grew up on listening to my mum singing Punjabi folk, I didn't grow up to thinking I would sing Punjabi folk. I also didn't grow up to thinking I'd sing Bollywood. I grew up singing English music, so actually I'm not doing what I grew up doing. Na Bollywood, na Punjabi folk मैंने किया है. What I do enjoy is honestly doing music that I believe in. You know, so it's neither Bollywood nor Punjabi folk nor English. It's what feels right in my heart. And it doesn't matter if the face of it is a famous actor or if it's just me on my own on my label. But if it feels right, like I'm saying, Ajab Gumya felt right, you know, and so did Anai Jana. And so did when I was in Viva, or so did when I wrote like my own song Beli Azia, which didn't do very well. You know, so my point is कि वो एक मन में feeling होती है. It's got nothing to do with where it's obviously Bollywood gives you a lot more exposure as an artist. Because the reach is so much more, but today independent music is also doing very well, you know. Finally that day has come when it's not just all about Bollywood. Yeah, I was waiting for that day. Like,
yeah, indie artists are also getting that recognition that they deserve.
And I've been literally championing the cause of, I don't want to say championing the cause, but like kind of holding the torch of independent music forever and waiting that वो दिन कब आएगा जब ये भी important होगा. And literally I'm telling you today, people talk a lot more about my non-film music than they talk about just my film music, and that for me is an achievement of sorts.
I think the Gen Z culture has brought that back into place. You know, discovering artists that are not recognized by Bollywood as such, and that's come as a really great industry that's upcoming in the music album. Yeah. So now, like, you know, every artist has faced their own set of criticisms. Every artist has their own set of challenges. You know, how do you deal with yours? And have you had any certain very hard-hitting ones, and you kind of had to deal with it in a different manner?
I mean, I felt like a reject for most of my career, to be honest. You know, I used to always feel like I've given a hit in every industry. I've proved my worth, and yet I used to always feel like it's never enough. And I always felt like I was no one's favorite. You know, I was not everyone's go-to. I had a different voice, a different personality, a different approach, and it was very difficult to find my place for the longest time. And I've had to adapt through genres, find myself in the Indian scenario. You know, like I'm saying today, आप बोल रहे हो कि आज Gen Z accept कर रहा है, you know, they're accepting synth wave music. Who's accepting it 10 years ago? Who's accepting it? You know? No one. I mean, it's really changed today because there's a global sort of exploration that's happening today thanks to the internet. But people like us who started in 2002 and are still working, we've seen all of those phases, you know, of sort. मतलब मैं उस ज़माने में आई थी जहाँ पे thin voices were the voice of the actresses. So, you know, the thick voices didn't even exist, like, you know. So it's like that's not the voice of the heroine. So starting from there to being asked by a very famous music director of the 90s that आपको जुकाम लगा हुआ है, आपकी आवाज़ ऐसी क्यों है? मैं तो आपको छोटी बातें बता रही हूँ, but you know, to not having the range to sing with a male, to not having that kind of a high voice, क्योंकि सारे गाने उस रेंज में बने होते थे, तो मुझे इतनी घबराहट होती थी कि जब मैं स्टूडियो जाऊँगी मैं वो गा पाऊँगी, बिकॉज मेरी रेंज में नहीं होगा तो क्या होगा, मैं जी शार्प में गाने वाली, सारे गाने सी में बन रहे हैं, you know, so how will I do it? So till I found, like I said, my space, that oh, Neha sings low really well, you know, to like first some people saying तो बड़ी मर्दानी आवाज़ है, whatever, like I'm saying, I've seen, we were the change in the industry, we were not the industry. We didn't fit into what was already happening. We were different from that. And to find your space within that, it was difficult. And when I started my career as a pop star, within 2 years the pop industry was already at its fag end. And Bollywood I was not trained for. So now what do you do? You know, so I mean, I've seen it all, like in that sense. So
You've made your own space.
Yeah.
And I think in life also that's a very general but very important trait, that you need to find your own place, you need to find your own thing, and once you get into your space you can bloom. You know, you can actually fly your wings. Well, speaking of the digital age, you know, internet can be a boon and a blessing. How has it worked for you?
This is a very generic question though, right, to answer. Like you said, both ways. I mean, of course, it's taken your peace of mind away. That's also because where all of us are, it's like explosion of information that we don't need. And bichara brain to itna sahi hai. Whatever said and done, there is a certain bandwidth that the brain has, you know. As the internet also, even the laptop fires up. Starts heating up. Any machinery starts heating up, and this one's also heating up nowadays. So I think that's, but yeah, having that access to your audience directly. The negative of that is today you've lost your mystery as an artist, most of us, you know. And I feel the same about the artists I used to look up to, because you know too much about them now. You know, there's not that mystery. I didn't know what Michael Jackson, what his age was when I listened to his music. Today everyone's so interested in every little detail of yours, starts smudging your real talent, you know, and takes it away from that and takes attention towards everything else. And the good part is that today you can directly connect with them and mobilize your own troops, sort of, and then serve your music to them, rather than always having a medium in between or having heavy duty contracts and people who are exploiting you. So वो एक obviously उसका एक benefit है for sure.
Yeah, like we said, it's a blessing and a boon. How do you deal with negativity and hate on the internet? Because you said you have a loud voice, you have a loud personality.
Did I say it or you're saying it? Am I saying it or you're saying it? But let's decide.
I though really love your voice. I wouldn't say it. But you know, you have a personality that stands out. There is nothing about you that you would want to fit in a mold, in a societal mold. How do you deal with that criticism if you get? Because Indian standards of beauty are very, they're just there. You know, everybody, it may be a celeb, it may be an actress. They have to fit in a certain kind of mold to be there. How do you feel about that? And how do you deal with not fitting into that?
So, you know, it takes you that much longer to come to a place of comfort. But उतनी थप्पड़ खाने के बाद ही आपको thick skin आता है. क्योंकि आप ये realize करते हो कि मैं दुनिया को change नहीं कर सकती और मुझे करना भी नहीं है. पर आपको ये भी समझ आता है कि दुनिया actually बहुत अच्छी नहीं है. I'm sorry, but today I'm going to take the rose-tinted glasses off and say that actually there are a lot of people who are not happy for you. And they are just not happy. They don't know the meaning of happiness. क्योंकि उन्होंने कभी अपनी लाइफ में हैप्पीनेस एक्सपीरियंस नहीं करी है, अपनी मर्जी की ज़िंदगी जी नहीं है, तो वो चाहते हैं कि जो इसे हमारे गले में किसी ने बांधा हुआ है, जो भी वो रस्सी है, हम वो उसी कूटे से हर किसी को बांध दें. तो जब वो किसी को उड़ते हुए देखते हैं तो उनको वो सहन नहीं होता. सो दे वांट टू मेक यू फील बैड, दे वांट टू रिड्यूस यू. वो चाहते हैं कि आपका मूड, आपका एम्बिशन, आपकी जो सेल्फ प्रेजर्वेशन वो भी उतनी ख़राब हो जाए जितनी उनकी है. एंड अनफॉर्चुनेटली वी आर लेटिंग दीज ट्रोल्स विन.
Right.
Because when we read those things, first of all, we cannot fathom, I cannot fathom a lot of times कि लोग ऐसी बातें सोचते नहीं हैं किसी के बारे में. क्योंकि जब मैं किसी फेमस इंसान को देखती थी या देखती हूँ, मेरे को लगता है यार इसने कैसे किया, मुझे भी करना है. That's the thinking of a winner. Losers कैसे सोचते हैं, अरे इसको देख, इसने क्या पहना हुआ है, इसको तो अक्ल नहीं है, इसको तो शर्म नहीं है. मतलब this is 90% of the जनता today. And they're going to hate it because most of them watching will be right now thinking and making up some stuff about me or you. कि अभी इसको बोल दो कुछ इसके बाल के बारे में, इसको बोल दो उसकी साड़ी के बारे में, तो you know immediately your and my mood will be spoiled. and we'll stop watching our own interview. And we'll start being like, hey, am I like this? Am I like that? They'll start putting that doubt in you.
Self-doubt comes into
Though you
picture.
came from your home looking really good, feeling, I'm going to interview someone, I'm going to have a good day, but they will ruin that for you because they want to do it. They are the bloody Satans. The trolls are the Satans, they are the devils. They want us to feel bad about us. ये लग गया मेरे को 21 years समझने में कि I'm sorry, I'm not going to let you win anymore. In fact, I'm piss you off more. By becoming more successful, by showing more of my cleavage, by becoming sexier by the day and not bloody aging. So, I mean, now I'm just talking fun stuff. But I'm just saying कि अब मुझे finally बुरा मुझे अभी भी लगता है कई बार. See, बुरा इसलिए नहीं लगता क्योंकि मैं अपने बारे में बुरा सोचती हूँ. बुरा ये लगता है यार कि दुनिया में इतने बुरे लोग क्यों हैं? That hurts you sometimes. कि I wish there were more people who thought more positive. Because collective consciousness of human beings is what makes this world. And if the collective consciousness is what we read on the internet, then I don't know where the hell are we going. That's what makes me sad today. Not the fact that ये मेरा मैं ऐसे क्यों बोल रहा है. But I've had my self-doubts, I've had my depression, I've had my bulimia, I've had body image dysmorphia, I've had all of them. I've allowed the world to destroy me. And today the one who sits in front of you is the one who's risen from the ashes. And that's what I mean to say. And I'm telling you also कि इस इंटरव्यू में भी 10 लोग बुरी बातें बोलेंगे, 10 अच्छी भी बोलेंगे, but they want you to feel bad. Do not let them make you feel bad, you know, because you are making it, you're living your dreams and they're not.
Correct.
So I'm sorry, that's how it works.
I completely
Yeah,
agree.
you're focusing on the good and that's why you're making it. So, so that's how I deal with it, by telling myself they don't matter, they're losers and I'm not.
So
Hard cold facts.
and like you know the industry, you know, do you think like, it's obvious a man's body and a female's body is perceived differently,
Of course.
and in your opinion, how does the societal norm of a female body, of a perfect female body, kind of get to your self-esteem and your self-doubt? How does it kind of hampers you? Does it like force you to be a certain type?
I mean, again, I've been through. When I started my career, our weight was on a contract, and we were not allowed to put on weight. We were humiliated for our bodies every day. So, when I went into therapy, the biggest issue I had was my body, and I remember my therapist telling me that it's okay, don't be hard on yourself, because when you're objectified at such a young age and on a national level, it takes you a lifetime to get over it. And you know, when people just pass on comments, see, मैं again बोल रही हूँ कि हम दुनिया को change नहीं कर सकते. We need to educate actually the people who are being victimized to deal with this in this manner that I'm right now telling you. Because you cannot change, you cannot be like, आपको troll नहीं करना चाहिए, आपको वो तो करेंगे क्योंकि वो losers हैं. I'm again going to say they are going to continue doing it. But we need to educate people who are putting themselves out there to have the courage to understand that this is why they do it. And even the industry, sorry, troll से दूर हट जाते हैं. Even the industry, अब मुझे नहीं पता कैसा है, because now people are scared of me, right? Because in their head I've sort of made it. But back in the day, they can't attack you for your singing, can't attack you for something else. So नाक पे बोल दो, पेट पे बोल दो. I had such an issue with my stomach. I still do sometimes, you know, because they used to always point out at my stomach, and I had no issue with my body till I moved to Bombay, and then I did. अच्छा, उसके बाद क्या होता है कि when you're younger and you have fuller body, sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to use these words. So, you know, if you have tits and ass, you're either sexualized, you're objectified, or you're fat. You know, so it's like you are not just a normal person's body. If you're skinny, आप बहुत पतले हो, आप दुबले हो, आप बीमार हो, आपको हर किसी को किसी बॉक्स में डालना है. कोई थोड़ा सा अगर bigger size है तो ये मोटी है, ये you have to put everybody in a box. So again, I'm not kidding. When I was growing up, I used to actually stuff my breast in my clothes to make sure that I don't have a cleavage.
Oh my God.
But if I wore something too covered, I would look too chesty. So, you know, now I'm like, sometimes when people are like, इसको हमेशा ऐसा दिखाना, I'm like, you know what, maybe I'm defying, I don't know. Or maybe I'm not, maybe I'm just comfortable. When Shah Rukh Khan shows his body in the last film that came out, at his age, you call him sexy. But when Malaika shows her body और I show my body, तुम उनको बूढ़ी बोलते हो. ये कौन सा रूल है भाई? मतलब why is this happening? Like, you know, why? So he's allowed to look sexy at any age, but we're not allowed to look. So when we are 20, we're trashy. At 30, we're wannabes. At 40, we're booढ़ी. तो साला हम कब sexy बनेंगे यार? You know, so my point is like, let women breathe. Like, let us be. You don't have to objectify and sexualize us all the bloody time, or call us booty or an attention seeker. Okay, maybe all of them. क्या बोलेंगे मतलब? So you're asking me. I think I've answered all of it for you.
I
think India is still not ready for a confident woman. It's a fact. People don't like it, but ये fact है. एक confident woman को आप tags दे दोगे, feminist है, bossy है, पागल है, चुड़ैल है. मतलब सिर्फ ये नहीं बोलोगे man she's hot. I want to be like her. ये आज भी ना औरतें बोलती हैं ना आदमी, not just men, women also. You know, they'll PMS कर रही है, पागल है, इसका तो मेनोपॉज आ गया, इसके बुढ़ापे में दिमाग सटक गया है. You know, they'll write all this shit, and they feel it also. We're not ready for confident women. It's a fact. Without labeling them, by just saying she's confident and I like her. Can you just leave it at that? No, they can't leave it at that.
They don't like women for the way they are.
No, they can't handle it. उसको जब तक कि वो देवी का रूप ना दिया जाए, तब तक हम उसको इज्जत नहीं देंगे.
Right.
We will not give her that इज्जत जब तक वो हमारे हिसाब से नहीं करेगी. मैं तो बोला भाई आपकी इज्जत ही नहीं चाहिए, बेइज्जती ठीक है हम. You know what I'm saying? बेइज्जत उसको किया जाता है जिसकी इज्जत तो मेरी तो नहीं है. तो thank you. आप come to a point like मैंने कहा चाहिए नहीं आपकी इज्जत. I don't want it. I respect myself and that's enough for me. So you again, like I said, you have to come to that point. And I'm not even angry today anymore. Believe me. You have to just talk to yourself and keep telling yourself, ये लोग बोलेंगे and it's never going to stop. So chill out.
Well, I think I really like that answer. But yeah. Wow. And
I think you're stumped.
Yeah, I really like that answer. That the fact that you said India is really not ready for strong women, for strong outright women. And I think that's completely true.
Yeah, and if you hate me for it, then I'm right anyway. Because if a man said this, you'd be okay with it.
Yeah.
But you want women to be a certain demure way and whatever. लड़कियां बच्ची होती हैं यार, हंसती भी हैं, खेलती भी हैं, गिरती भी हैं. मतलब we're not an image. For heaven's sake, women are not an image that you like. You know, a lot of men say, अरे women तो don't even go to the loo. अरे ऐसे थोड़ी ना होता है. अरे men have all these perceptions, but even women have perceptions about women.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, let me say this out there. Men तो फिर भी लड़कियों को सिर्फ sexualize करते हैं. Women जिस तरह से reduce करती हैं women को, oh my God, they attack your very soul.
Yeah.
You know, they know how to make you feel small. So, yeah.
They know how to hit the correct chord.
Yeah, because you're a woman, na? You know what hurts a woman.
Yeah.
तो सबसे पहले तो कैरेक्टर पे चले जाओ. ठीक है भाई, हम कैरेक्टर लेस हैं. Be happy. स्कूल में भी कैरेक्टर सर्टिफिकेट मिलता था, आज तक मिल रहा है. अभी तो बंद कर दो यार.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So, like we spoke about mental health, do you think India is slowly kind of demolishing the harsh cushion it spread about mental health and kind of getting it better now?
Yeah, I think for sure. I think there's a lot more awareness, you know, and I think मुझे लगता है again anxiety जो है वो बढ़ रही है because of probably again a lot of exposure, too much of explosion of information and us just not having any time off. So it's a good thing that there's more normalization of कि we can talk about it. कि जैसे सर दर्द के बारे में बात कर सकते हो तो डिप्रेशन के बारे में बात करना आज के डेट में ऐसे people don't look at you like you're a mad person. So yeah, I think it has changed for sure.
And it's getting better.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. You know, it's definitely a good thing. There's also a lot more help, a lot more doctors who are more helpful and understanding, and even families are normalizing it.
That's true. In one of your songs, Kehne De Rehne De,
Kende Rende.
There's this one particular line, Diva Mat Ban, Bantu Devi. What was the thought that went behind the lyrics?
So, you know, that's actually particularly to me. So, I always, again, because I was bred as a pop star. And there's a pop star rock star ideology hoti hai, you know, you're like these badasses of the industry, whatever. And so I used to wear leather pants to college. I was very taken by Madonna, Michael Jackson, Spice Girls, Mick Jagger, like all the rock pop era of the 90s, 80s, 70s. तो जब मैं शॉर्ट्स या बूट्स पहन के अरे सिंगर्स का गाने पे कोई ध्यान नहीं दे रहा तो इसलिए ऐसे ऐसे कपड़े पहन रहे हैं, ये वो वही सेम चीज़ मैं आपको बता रही हूँ कि म्यूजिक तो सरस्वती होती है. सो बेसिकली पुटिंग इट ऑन अ सर्टेन, ऑफ कोर्स म्यूजिक सरस्वती होती है, बट सरस्वती जी इज, यू नो, शी इज अ देवी ऑफ नॉलेज. आपने उसको अगेन किसी और उसमें डाल दिया है, यू नो, यू आर पुटिंग इट ऑन अ सर्टेन पेडेस्टल. सो ऐसे यार अगर ये बात है तो देवी नहीं बनना, मेरे को डीवा बनना. You know, so when people keep saying कि what is the line? Sorry.
Diva mat ban, bantu devi.
So diva mat ban, bantu devi, and I'm like नहीं, मेरे को डीवा बनना है, नहीं बनना मुझे आपकी देवी. मुझे उस पेडेस्टल पे नहीं बैठना जहाँ पे आप मुझे कंफर्टेबल फील करते हो मुझे देख के. You know, so I think that's what I mean. Like, let a woman decide she wants to be a diva, she wants to be a devi, she wants to be a mom, she doesn't want to be a mom. Like, let her decide. You know, don't. Again, I'm saying कि I think ये जो problem है ना, दुख कहाँ होता है कि आपकी opportunities कम हो जाते हैं, आपकी societal इज्जत कम हो जाती है just because आपने दुनिया के हिसाब से decision नहीं लिए. And eventually we are a social animal. You know, so as much as I'd like to say that it's my life and I'll do whatever I want, but I have to bear the repercussions of my decisions just because I am not the norm.
Yeah.
So that's what that song is about.
So you have a real affinity towards Punjabi folk music. Can you tell me something about it? And of course, your new song, Good Good Bajra.
I think folk has brought me a lot of sukoon, you know, a lot of love, a lot of एक होता है कि रूट्स, ये मेरे रूट से लगता है, अपने रूट से कनेक्ट करना. आई थिंक पंजाबी फोक ने मुझे एक्सीडेंटली हेल्प किया टू कनेक्ट टू माई पंजाबी रूट्स, टू माई फैमिली, टू माई मम, टू माई नानी, टू माई छोटी नानी. बिकॉज यू नो बहुत सारा मतलब म्यूज़िक में उनसे पूछती हूँ यार इसके लिरिक्स बताओ या कौन सा गाना है जो आप सुनते थे. एंड लॉट ऑफ द सॉन्ग्स आई हैव संग इन माई वन सीरीज कॉल्ड फोक टेल्स, पीपल डोंट इवन नो देम बिकॉज यू नो इट्स, आप सोचिए उस जनरेशन के साथ वो गाने ख़त्म हो जाएंगे. सो इट्स लाइक that achar ka recipe in your family which has been running through generations, and if you don't learn it now, it's going to be gone, right? So for me, Punjabi folk has become like that, and it didn't start with that much intensity or depth, but today it does mean a lot to me, and I feel very happy and proud. अभी आपने थोड़ी देर पहले बोला था कि मैंने शादी में बाजे और सिट्टा गाऊंगी, तो you know, अब कुछ साल पहले लोग फिल्म के गाने आइटम नंबर्स पे डांस कर रहे थे. टुडे द फैक्ट दैट यू वांट टू सिंग समथिंग दैट इज समथिंग दैट इज आवर कल्चर, इट जस्ट मेक्स मी रियली हैप्पी. And I've always said that culture is about binding communities. It's not about stifling you. And I think that's Punjabi folk. So just keeping in that tradition, Kut Kut Bajra is our new offering. And people are loving it. It's been about 2 weeks. I don't know when this interview will go out. Since the songs come out, and people are loving it. And it's trending on Insta Reels, which in today's generation is a big thing. And it's got a beautiful choreography. You know, usually लोग अपनी choreography बनाते हैं, हमने कभी नहीं बनाई. So this time we decided to give them कि आपको खुद ना बनानी पड़े wedding choreography. We made it for you guys. Wow. And it's Kathak and folk fused together. So it's a very beautiful video. It's a very beautiful song, and it's definitely one of my current favorites. One of my favorites that I've ever done.
That's